This is America 250, and I'm Jane Hampton Cook, an author, a historian, and a former White House staffer. This year, 2025, marks the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. On June 14, 1775, the Continental Congress established the Continental Army of the United States, and they appointed George Washington to be the commanding general of the Army. And then, 2 years later, on the same day, June 14, 1777, the Continental Congress gave this new army a new flag. And that is why we call June 14th Flag Day, because that's the day they adopted the first official flag of the United States. On June 20th, 1782, Congress gave America the Great Seal of the United States, which features an eagle flying freely in the center. And on the eagle's breast is a red, white, and blue shield. And at this time, the Congress decided to reflect on the meaning of the colors in the flag. They assigned virtues to the colors red, white, and blue. And to celebrate this anniversary of the U.S. Army, I wanted to use George Washington's words to show you what these virtues meant to him. And in this video, we're going to talk about the color red. The color red means valor and hardiness. Now, hardiness meant that the Continental Army could withstand extremes, extreme heat, extreme cold, extreme flood, extreme drought. And that is very certainly what the Continental Army experienced throughout the war. They had to navigate all sorts of battlefield conditions. But the other meaning of the color red is valor. And this is a word that George Washington used quite a bit. When he first became commander-in-chief in July of 1775, he arrived in Cambridge, Massachusetts to take up command. And at this point, the Continental Army surrounded the countryside of Boston, but the British military occupied the town of Boston, and they were really at a stalemate. George Washington told his men that he wanted them to demonstrate steady courage. And then in August of 1775, 300 soldiers captured a lighthouse that had been controlled by the British Army. And they didn't kill a single British soldier. Instead, they captured all of them, all 36 of them. George Washington wrote, "Continental Army will be as famous for their mercy as for their valor." So clearly, he understood the ethic. If you could capture and not kill, you would capture first. That was the ethic he was operating on, and it took valor to do so. Then, in September of 1775, he sent an expedition to Canada. President Trump has talked about Canada becoming the 51st state. Well, many others have tried to do the same thing. And in this case, Washington told this expedition, he said, "Look, I want your order and discipline and regularity of behavior to be as obvious as your valor." He wanted them to show respect to their officers because marching that far a distance was going to require discipline and it was going to require valor. And he also told these men to respect the religious differences Americans had with the French Canadians, that it was important to observe the civil rights of others, even at this early stage in the game. So now you know a little bit more about the color red, and I'll be doing videos about the white stripes and white stars, and then of course the blue field upon which we have a union of stars on our flag. Thanks for listening. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and let's celebrate America's 250th together. I'm Jane Hampton Cook.